Coming up on Network Africa, Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio describes the anti-government protests in the country as acts of terrorism. Kenya's general elections vote count enters the third day. Plus, South Africa's Department of Home Affairs reintroduces transit visas for travelers. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We begin here in West Africa, where Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio has described the anti-government protests in the country as acts of terrorism instigated by agitators living abroad. About 130 people have been arrested in the demonstrations that took place in the capital, Freetown, and in the opposition's northern stronghold, over the high cost of living, corruption and police brutality. President Bio, who had travelled out of the country, is said to have now returned. According to the president, he says the protests had a political motive and he acknowledged that there are underlying concerns affecting the citizens. He also adds that calm has returned to Freetown and security forces have been deployed to make sure that there is no further deterioration of the situation. Well, we move to Sudan, where security armored vehicles fired tear gas at demonstrators in the capital, Khartoum. Hundreds took to the streets and was pelted with rocks and bricks as an anti-military campaign carried on into the 10th month. Well, the protesters also assembled blockades from what appeared to be bricks dug out of pavements. Protests have continued in Sudan weekly since an October 25th military takeover that halted a transition to democracy and has plunged the country into turmoil. In the meantime, at least 3 people have been killed after violent clashes between police and protesters in Somaliland as the breakaway region of Somalia. Protests broke out in major cities after 2 opposition parties called for demonstrations to pressure the government not to delay elections that's been scheduled for November. President Muse Bihi Abdi and his Komiye party want the registration of new parties to be done first. Officials had earlier given permits to contain the demonstrations in specific areas. Or the head of Somaliland's police operations, Ibrahim Abdi Haji, said several people, including police officers, were injured in that protest and arrests have been made. The United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, along with the Norwegian Refugee Council, says that more than 755,000 people have been internally displaced in Somalia, and this is as a result of the severe drought this year. Well, speaking at a press briefing in New York, the UN spokesperson, Stefan Dujarric, says the total figure registered as displaced within the country since January 2021, when the drought began, is now 1 million.
The Refugee Agency, along with the Norwegian Refugee Council, today said that more than 755,000 people have been internally displaced in Somalia because of the severe drought this year. This brings the total figure to 1 million people now registered as displaced within the country since January 2021, when the drought began. UNHCR and the National Refugee Council noted that the number of people facing crisis hunger levels in Somalia is expected to rise from 5 million to more than 7 million in the coming months, worsened by the effects of climate change and rising food prices because of the conflict in Ukraine. In June, UNHCR announced that it needs 9.5 million for Somalia as part of its regional appeal for the Horn of Africa to help displaced communities affected by catastrophic drought.
It's day 3 after Kenya's general elections, and Kenyans are still waiting for the results of the presidential polls following voting on Tuesday. The Electoral Commission is verifying results forms at the country's National Tallying Center in the capital, Nairobi, and the Kenyan electoral head has admitted that he feels the process of verifying these results is taking too long. Wafula Chebukati's comments come nearly 3 days after the polls have closed and with the outcome of the presidential election still not known. He's blaming party agents for slowing things down as results sent digitally are matched to paper originals. Media tallies show the two leading candidates, Raila Odinga and William Ruto, are neck to neck, but the Electoral Commission has warned that it is only the Commission that can declare the winner, and the IEBC has 7 days to do so. Meanwhile, Kenya's newly re-elected lawmaker Didmas Barasa has surrendered to police after being on the run for 3 days over the shooting and killing of his opponent's aide. Police are treating Mr. Barasa as a suspect in the incident that happened at a polling station on voting day. According to police officials, Mr. Barasa is currently helping with investigations, and his lawyer had on Thursday applied for bail pending his arrest. We have Cyrus Ombati, Kenyan journalist, joining us now from Nairobi for more on the election results, even as we await confirmation from the Electoral Commission. Hello, Cyrus. Thank you for speaking to us. I understand, you are at the Tallying Center in Nairobi. Help us understand how things are going there.
Good evening. Here in Nairobi, we are fine. Now, the Electoral Commission of Kenya is retallying the results which were captured on the ground. That's each constituency for final announcement. But so far, there are complaints from parties involved in the whole exercise because people are saying some results have been doctored to either inflated or reduced. So that is what's causing a lot of delays in announcing the final tallies. The tension is growing in some areas in the country, especially some stronghold here and there. In Nairobi, you can say Mombasa, Kisumu, but then things are under control. We hope and believe the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission will be able to address the issues raised by the agents or other parties that are involved in the tallying or other exercise, the entire exercise. The elections went on well, and most candidates in the other seats have been announced. And now the problem is on the presidential votes, which we are waiting to see how it goes. The Independent Electoral Commission says it has until next week, Tuesday, to announce the presidential candidate who has won, or rather the winner of these elections. So it's a matter of waiting to see what happens next. But there's a lot of anxiety among many voters who participate in the exercise.
That'll bring me to my next question. The IEBC having 7 days to announce the results, and the Electoral Commission head has already admitted that, things are slow, and he's given a number of reasons. But how confident is the Commission, in meeting this deadline?
It's true there is a lot of sluggishness in terms of retallying the results that were announced on the ground. This is because of so many discrepancies that have been discovered, because each and every party is claiming there was hacking of the system, whereby those results that were laid from the counties or constituencies, and they were put online through an electoral portal. They're claiming the portal was hacked and the results were changed. So they are forced, the Electoral Commission is forced to ensure they wait for the returning officers from the regions to come physically with the forms which they signed on the ground to come here with the same for returning. Now that means that the process has to be, it has been prolonged as it has been anticipated in the past. That by today the presidential winner should have been announced. The chairman of the electoral body, Mr. Wafula Chebukati, had said he may announce the results tomorrow, but then as things are now, there's a lot of push and pull from either parties are involved, which we think may prolong the process to next week. Remember, the commission has 7 days, according to the law, to announce the presidential winner. So there's a lot of doubts, discrepancies here and there on the results which are coming in. So it's the reason the commission is taking time to verify the same before announcing. Thank you.
Well, finally, Cyrus, how are Kenyans, feeling about this wait?
Out of that delay, which has been, social media is another problem here. Delays on announcing the results. There's a lot of misinformation here and there. So that is actually increasing a lot of anxiety. It's increasing the doubts on the process itself. Most Kenyans went and voted, yes, but now the process of tallying the results and announcing the same has become a tall order. So there's a lot of misinformation. There's given bloggers, those people on social media, they're sending misinforming information. So generally Kenyans are tensed. I can tell you that there's anxiety in either parties, on either side, whether it's the side of Mr. Raila Odinga or on the other side of William Ruto. There's a lot of tension and anxiety among many. It's a wait and see now. Maybe until tomorrow, Sunday or Monday. The deadline is on Tuesday. So it's a wait and see. Thank you so much.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Cyrus Ombati, Kenyan journalist there from Nairobi. Let's now take you back to our leading story for today, the protests in Sierra Leone that happened on Thursday. Updates on that. We have joining us now Ahmed Said, journalist in Freetown. Hello, Ahmed. Thank you for speaking to us at this time. What is the latest and the update on the situation in the country?
Thank you very much. Things are slowly returning to normal. The security forces have been fully deployed across the nation. And in some places, we've seen the army talking to people, encouraging them to come out and do their business. But then still, some shops are closed, some are open, some markets are open, some markets are closed. And there is some amount of fear among people of what is going to happen next. Just yesterday, the foreign minister, Professor David Francis, held a meeting with the international community. The U.S. Embassy was there, the European Union was there, the U.K. Embassy was there, the Nigerian Embassy was also there, and other embassies as well, and high commissions. And then he took them through some of the graphic images of the violent protests. And then, in his words, he said, those are not actually protests, they were acts of terrorism. And so most of the international diplomats that were there gave their views about, condemned the protest and called for peace and called for calm and called for the government to take control. And so far, today, the curfew still stands at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and people are going about their normal business, but on a small scale, not as on a normal busy day.
So we understand that, President Bio, who was out of the country as at the time of this protest, has now returned. What comments have we heard from him?
Well, apart from his tweet on the day he arrived, on yesterday, I think yesterday night when he arrived, he has not made any announcement so far, but he has granted an interview to the BBC, where he also reiterated what the foreign minister said about the protests, that they are not actually protests, they are politically motivated and they are acts of terrorism. And so, but we just confirmed this afternoon that he's going to make a nationwide address at 8 p.m. today.
All right, then we'll be listening in to know what more the president has to say about the protest. But thank you so much, Ahmed Said, joining us from Freetown.
Thank you, too.
Still ahead on Network Africa. On our Africa Tech segment, we show you a report on a Nigerian entrepreneur who's building electric vehicles More details in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program. We continue in South Africa, where 20 people suspected of instigating the deadly riots that swept through parts of South Africa in July last year will appear in court in the eastern city of Durban. Or they will be facing a number of charges, including incitement to commit public violence and incitement to commit arson. More than 300 people were killed in the unrest that erupted after South Africa's former president Jacob Zuma was jailed for contempt of court. Well, this is an initial appearance dealing with matters such as whether the suspects will be granted bail and to set a date for the next time they will be in court. South Africa's Department of Home Affairs has reintroduced transit visas for travelers using ordinary passports issued by Bangladesh and Pakistan. Well, in recent months, the South African passport has been in the news for all the wrong reasons, as a Bangladeshi national was arrested with a fake South African passport. And in another incident, passengers from the two countries were caught attempting to enter into the country illegally by sneaking through a fire hydrant passage at the OR Tambo airport while on the way to Eswatini. Well, South Africa's Home Affairs Minister, Aaron Motsoaledi, announced new regulations at a press conference in Pretoria.
Transit visas were scrapped for those passing through South Africa. They have been reinstated for some countries. The Minister for Home Affairs, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, says it's part of efforts to protect the country's immigration laws at ports of entry and maintain passport security.
Today, I wish to announce that we have decided to withdraw the transit visa exemption, and we are reinstating transit visa requirements for Bangladeshi and Pakistani ordinary passport holders. And this started from the 1st of August 2022. The reintroduction of the transit visa is one of the practical and strong interventions we are making in our ongoing efforts to strengthen entry requirements at our airports. It also underscores our resolve to stop people from undermining our systems.
There are also some changes affecting South African citizens.
People might have realized that when they apply for passports, they could collect them from any office, any Home Affairs office in the country, and they could also be collected by third parties. Now, we are announcing today that unfortunately, this can no longer happen. And the following measures will be followed. 1, a passport can only be collected strictly from the office where it was applied for. Number 2, only the person who applied for the passport can come and collect it by activating it through a fingerprint. Number 3, for minor children, their parents or guardians who help them to apply for the passport will be the only ones allowed to come and collect it and activate it using their own fingerprints. We must strongly warn that any passport collected using whatever method other than the ones that we're announcing today will not be activated, and hence such a passport will be of no use to the holder.
And for those South African citizens who allegedly sell their identity to foreign nationals, Minister Motsoaledi says they cannot be disowned, but they will certainly face charges.
We can't disown them, they are South Africans. We can't disown them. All we'll do is to reverse what is in the National Population Register, put their original pictures, but charge them. That's why they are being charged now. We are aware that all of them are on bail. Those who are South Africans who have done this, we can't disown them, unfortunately. They are our citizens who are just outright extremely stupid.
With the Home Affairs Department going digital, 2.4 billion rand has been set aside to recruit 10,000 youth graduates to work on the digitization of its civic paper records. The 3-year project is expected to take off on the 1st of November 2022.
To health matters. Africa's Public Health Agency says the continent of 1.3 billion people still does not have a single dose of a monkeypox vaccine, but discussions are underway with at least 2 partners. The acting director of the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Ahmed Ogwell, says he could not give details, but that the partners are largely multilateral institutions and non-African governments. He also adds that there are no discussions with the private sector because all available doses have already been bought by countries. More monkeypox deaths have been reported on the African continent this year than anywhere in the world. Well, since May, nearly 90 countries have reported more than 31,000 monkeypox cases. Welcome to our Africa Tech segment. A Nigerian entrepreneur living in Borno State, northern Nigeria, Mustafa Gajibo, is converting vehicles running on petroleum to solar energy-powered vehicles. Mustafa is the managing director of Phoenix Renewables, and he says they are aimed to increase the efficiency and sustainability of vehicles.
On the roads of Maiduguri in Borno State, northeast Nigeria, electric minibuses are seen amidst petrol-powered tricycles and cars. This green and white, made in Nigeria minibus plies the Baga Road to Kasua, and local passengers are seen going aboard as they can hardly tell its difference from vehicles running on petrol. Electric minibuses are the handwork of Nigerian entrepreneur Mustafa Gajibo, who says he has a passion in renewable energy, one that was conflicting with his university education.
I joined the University of Maiduguri, mechanical engineering, and then I started, and then after some time, I think up to 300 level, then I developed so much passion in the renewable energy sector, where it always conflicts with my education. So I decided to drop out of the school and focus more on the renewable energy business that I'm doing now.
Mustafa Gajibo is managing director of Phoenix Renewables, a company that designs solar-powered cars. He says he has always had a drive for innovation, technical creativity, and renewable energy.
So prices of transportation is also going up. And another concern is the climate change also. You know, the vehicles and the energy sources we're using mostly are fossil fuel powered. So they are causing so much damage to our environment. And I believe that someone somewhere have to come up with solutions to solve all these problems.
The converted minibuses can transport 8 passengers, including the driver, but that wasn't enough for Mustafa and his team. They realized they could increase the efficiency and sustainability of the vehicles if they built theirs from scratch.
The first tricycle is a 4-seater tricycle that can cover a distance of up to 200 kilometers on one charge, and it has a loading capacity of up to 700 kg. It has some battery packs inside, which you get it fully charged, and when it is fully charged, it covers a distance of 150 to 200 kilometers. We have built a 12-seater bus, which can cover a distance of up to 200 kilometers on 1 hour. And we also put into consideration a lot of challenges that we got at the converted models, which we tried as much as possible to develop more technology that will suit the need of the people. So this bus has a seating capacity of 12, can cover a distance of 200 kilometers on one charge. It is fully air conditioned. It's even having latest features of vehicles like voice command system, electric doors, and many more features that you can find 2021 or 2022 vehicles.
So far, they've built 50 electric tricycles and 10 electric minibuses. And for now, Mustafa has one charging station powered by solar for the electric vehicles.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde. Have a great weekend.